Hey guys, this video I'm going to be talking about all the books I read in 2018. If you guys have been watching my monthly reading vlogs, you will know that I do my monthly wrap-up sitting in this position on my bed. So I thought, what better way to do a yearly wrap-up than sitting in this position on my bed. I have two disclaimers before we get going. The first being, it is the 26th of December, so it is not the end of the year yet, but when I'm filming this. So I might finish another book, but if you are interested in seeing what else I read, I'll have my Goodreads link down in the description, and I'll also be continuing a reading vlog style thing in 2019, so you'll be able to sort of watch along and see what I read throughout the year. If you have any questions or you want to know a little bit more about any of these books, if you go back and watch my reading vlogs for this year, they might answer some of those questions, or you can just leave them down in the comments and I'll answer them for you. The second one is that it is the 26th of December, and for the savvy amongst you, you will know that is Boxing Day, which means that this house is quite noisy today, but this is the only time I have to film this, so I apologise for any background noise. We're doing this in order of how I rated them rather than chronological order, so without further ado, let's get going. The lowest rated book that I read this year was Vinderlander by Adrian Goldsworthy, which I gave 2 stars. It just dragged and dragged and dragged. It had hardly anything to do with the site of Vinderlander, which is why I was reading it in the first place. I was just not interested. It was just not for me, so I ended up giving it away. Getting into 3-star books, the first one is Be a Unicorn and Live Life on the Bright Side by Sarah Ford, which I actually read last night because I thought it would bump up my reading goal a little bit. The reason I gave this 3 stars was because it was cute and kind of nothingy, but also the advice that it gave was actually kind of bad. The advice it gave was like, ignore the future, ignore the past, live for the now, but I have my sister at deadlines. I've got to live for the future at least a bit. So things to do. A Million Years in a Day by Greg Jenner, which I read because it was written by someone who's doing the same course as me at the same university. Very repetitive, very slow in places, not as good as I was expecting. The Last Star by Rick Yancey, the 3rd book in the 5th Wave series. This series got progressively downhill. The first one was great, the second one was mediocre, this one was bland. Cell 7 by Kerry Drury had a lot of potential, the idea was good, I didn't find it particularly well executed. Lewis Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, a graphic novel by Ransom Riggs and Cassandra Jean, who I assume was the person who drew it. Yeah, it was okay, didn't capture the book particularly well, was only good because I'd read the book. I don't think it would work very well as its own standalone. Books I don't own or don't have with me, or Archaeology, a very short introduction by Paul G. Barn. Had a weird anti-feminist rant about halfway through it that was like half a chapter. Why? The book was only 60 pages long. The Other Alice by Michelle Harrison, full of mistakes, full of plot holes and things that were just ignored, and the emotions were weird. Sometimes the emotions were an appropriate response, and sometimes they were just things were just completely glossed over. Now we have 4-star books. This is always my biggest category because I'm quite generous with my ratings. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Good idea, kinda nothingy, didn't really care about the romance. Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller, really good concept, quite enjoyed this, but didn't, it was very shallow, it could have gone into things a lot more than I think it did. Misery by Stephen King, I enjoyed this, it kind of freaked me out. I think this might be higher than this now in retrospect, but there was some scenes that I didn't particularly find interesting, and I much prefer Stephen King's sort of fantasy supernatural things. Obsidio, the last book in the Illuminae Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Really loved the series, would highly recommend, but gets a little bit convoluted towards the end. There's too many characters for me, personally anyway. I think it might be better if you binge read this series all in one go. Devours by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner, the Night Vale novel. I enjoyed this, but it had some sections that weren't as good. Night Vale definitely works better as a podcast. Nod by Adrian Barnes descended into this bizarre dreamscape. Was a bit weird. Mary Beard, Women and Power, a Manifesto, preferred the second essay to the first one, but generally quite good, short, a good introduction to sort of classic feminism. Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, the second book in the Grisha series. I'm loving this series, I can't wait to read the next one, but again this book focused on a couple of things that were in the series that I didn't massively care about. Traitor to the Throne by Alwyn Hamilton, the second book in the Rebel of the Sands series. This one was okay. Oh no. Yeah, this one was okay. War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This was not a particularly well written book, but very, very interesting for a sci-fi fan. You can see where a lot of tropes come from, and it is way before its time. Book 2 and Book 4 in the Wicked and the Divine graphic novel series. This one is Pandemonium, and this one is Rising Action. I really enjoyed this series in general, but I preferred 1 and 3, yeah, because I've only got 4 of them. Doctor Who Peacemaker by James Swallow. Didn't really expect much, didn't really provide much, was just a sort of in-betweeny read. I kind of like these books, they're kind of a bit nothing in though. Starting over the book 1 in the Starling Hill trilogy by Jen Silver, who I met at Vindolanda. Enjoyed this, have yet to buy the next one, which I've been meaning to do. I will buy the next one at some point, it's on my list. Don't ask me to order these. I don't know which order. Oh, did I put them in order? I put them in order. So we have Mr. Daniel Cooper of Stickleback Hollow, The Day the Circus Came to Stickleback Hollow, Bonfire Surprise at Stickleback Hollow, Tinker Tailor Soldier Die, and What Became of Henry Cartwright, which is 5 books in the Stickleback Horror series by C.S. Woolley, which I've been talking about a lot this year. Excited to continue the series. I'm not going to talk about all these individually because there's 5 of them. Landline by Rainbow Rowell kind of left some loose ends, didn't answer some questions that I wanted answering, kind of an interesting concept though. Yeah, it was okay. And then books that I don't have with me is Every Heart a Doorway and Dan Man's Sticks and Bones, the first 2 books in the Every Heart a Doorway, I guess the series is called, series by Sarah Maguire. I really enjoyed them, but they were quite short, and a lot of the first one was world building, as it has to be because it was so short. I wanted them to be a bit longer. Trumpet by Jackie Kay, too poetic for me in places. The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed, too preachy in places, and it needed a trigger warning that it didn't have. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, amazing book, just not really my genre. The Fandom by Anna Day, junk book read. The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, quite good, but again, just not really my thing. Unconventional by Maggie Harcourt, that is a junk food book as well. Troublemakers by Catherine Barter, as was that one. If you guys don't know, I refer to books that aren't particularly good, but they're just kind of, you enjoy them and you read them really quickly and they're kind of nothing, they don't really contain much, they're just like a fun thing to read. I refer to them as like junk food books, like junk food. You get it, you get it. And now finally we're getting on to my 5-star reads. The first one being Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematorium by Caitlin Doughty. This addressed some really, really important issues in a really light-hearted and accessible way. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Hero at the Fall by Alwyn Hamilton, the third and final book in the Rebel of the Sands series. This one was much, much better, very fast-paced, had a lot in it. Compared to the second book, and overall I enjoyed this series. The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories by Tim Burton. This was so much fun. I loved the stories, I loved the poems, they were weird, they were brilliant. I read it all in 15 minutes. This was fantastic. Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Really funny. The 2 authors don't work particularly well together, but it totally was overlooked by how fantastic and fun this book was. Scarlet, the second book I believe in the Lunar Chronicles. I'm really enjoying this series, but for some reason I just completely forget about it when I'm not reading it. I don't know why, I don't just read the next one. Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. She just got Wonder Woman so spot on. She got the story so spot on, she got the characters perfect. It was just really, really well done. the first and the third book in the Wicked and the Divine graphic novel series. So we have The Faust Act and Commercial Suicide. These are really good. This one is particularly my favourite, the first one. I love it because I just love Lucy so much. Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I did not see that plot twist come in at all. Not at all. Didn't even guess it in the slightest. Some longer passages that I didn't particularly enjoy, and the slow burn effect didn't quite work. But overall, a 5-star book. Milk and Vine by Adam Gasiewski. Yeah, it's like that stupid spoof of Milk and Honey, but it's all Vine quotes. I think I gave this 5 stars as a joke, because it's kind of awful. Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun. This was so cute and fantastic, and it's such a good book. I would recommend anyone check it out if you have, like, it's quite a lot of money for what it is, because it's very short. So I'd recommend borrowing off someone if you can, but it's just such a nice experience to read. And they're all the books I read this year. I read 49 books this year so far, compared to 56 last year, so it is not as good as I was hoping to do. My reading goal was 57 this year, which I have not met, but I would still say pretty good. I'm still pretty close to a book a week, which is what I was before. Before I was just slightly over, and now I'm just slightly under. I'm hoping to do better next year, but with the way that university is going, if you guys have been watching the reading vlogs, I'm finding it, I'm quite struggling to read a lot at university just because I have so much other reading to do. So we're going to see if I can keep it up, but I am anticipating that I will be reading less in 2019, but I will, aiming not to, but anticipating that I will. Yeah, I also read a lot less pages this year. I don't have that stat in front of me right now because I can't get it on here, but if you look in the description, there's a link to my Goodreads that will show you, because a lot of the books that I read this year were shorter graphic novels and things like that I read purely to pump up my reading goal. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I did enjoy them, like I enjoyed rereading the Wicked and the Divine series. Yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you read any of these books and what you thought of them. Let me know what you read in 2018, what your favourite book was, what your least favourite book was, if you just have any interesting opinions on any of the books that you read. And if you have anything you'd like to know about these books, if you want me to do a more detailed review of one of them or a couple of them, then let me know. I can totally do that, but let me know soon while I'm still in my head. And I hope you guys have a fantastic 2019. New videos every Wednesday. I have done for the past 3 years. I think this is the going into 4th year of weekly videos now. Go me. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Sorry for all the background noise. I know it's awful, but like, I have the noisiest house ever, so I can guarantee it was more annoying for me than it was for you. Oh no, I'm stuck. Okay, we're going. Bye.